Okay, everybody. Today is time for Sergeant 1911's opinion of the Alec Baldwin shooting incident. Okay, welcome to the Hideout today. Before we get started on today's topic, I want to make sure and reach out to everyone and tell you how much I appreciate all the subscribers. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. If you have not, please do click the ringy dingy so you get up a notification. Check us out on sgt1911.com. Now, today we're going to talk about a little bit about a gun, but here's where I want to go with this. In the last few weeks, we've seen Alec Baldwin and his incident. And I'm sure, or I feel confident in thinking this is just a horrible accident. I'm not going to put blame on anybody because, to be honest, guys, I was not there. What I seem to be seeing out there in the YouTube community is all these things that Alec Baldwin did wrong. And from my personal handgun experience, I can feel confident in saying and agreeing with many people who've produced their theory of the accident. Probably, yes, there was a finger on the trigger somewhere. It's a natural movement of the handgun, the way the handgun is designed around the hand. Handgun, hand, let's get it? But now I also want to make sure and know this about Sergeant 1911. Unless your name is frickin' John Wayne, I could care less who you are in Hollywood. That's just the way I feel about it. Sorry if I offend anybody out there, but if you're not the Duke, don't care. So let's just talk about, we've seen different people, different YouTube celebrities, if you want to call them, personalities, talk about the Colt Single Action Army, the Italian remakes and things like that. And I've got one right here. I've got a first generation Colt Single Action Army in.45 Colt right here. This real deal. In response to somebody, take a look right here. It does have the firing pin right here. So it does have the hole up here. And then I've got an Italian copy. Just exactly, you'll see it's got one here, it's got one with the hole in there. But that's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the fact that I see and hear a lot of Alec Baldwin pull the trigger, Alec Baldwin pull the trigger, Alec Baldwin pull the trigger. Is that true? The fact of the matter, guys, is we don't know. Alec Baldwin can swear up and down on one thing, but I think the FBI or some investigative unit has the handgun now. And I would think for us to go out and make a foregone conclusion without actually physically examining this handgun itself, not just this one, that particular handgun, we're never going to know. We don't know. We don't know if there's a mechanical problem with the handgun. It could be. Out of all the videos I've seen who said Alec Baldwin pulled the trigger, it could be, guys, he did not. It could be that my understanding is, and I know, admittedly, this is a rumor because once again, I was not there. This handgun was purchased in the 60s maybe, 70s, somewhere in there, late 60s, 70s, somewhere, I don't know. But that's already getting to be 40 something, 50 years. How many rounds has this thing fired in that time period? Who has maintained this thing? Do we just have a bad deal with the sear, breaking, chipping, the hammer? Is there a mechanical failure? I mean, again, I'm not going to defend him because I know how the handguns work. But airplanes crash and we have car accidents. People fall off of ladders. Lightning strikes people. For God's sake, why does lightning strike people? So don't think that this is not possible that it happens. It's just, I'm going to say there's a probability that he pulled it, but there's a possibility that he did not. So I'm just going to go like everybody else is going, and I know you guys don't want to hear this. I'm just seeing where we're not getting, You know, in the United States, we're innocent until proven guilty. As far as I know, at the time I'm doing this video, he's not been arrested. He's not been charged. So there's probably other issues going on besides Alec Baldwin's finger. So, you know, I'm just going to show you because, in my idea, I'm going to agree with some other people about what's happening, but I don't necessarily know that is what happened. Okay, I'm going to take my Italian replica of the Colt Single Action Army, and I want you to pay, let me do what, I got this dark shirt on, so let me try to hold it this way, see if that helps you, okay? All right, watch the trigger as I pull the hammer back. The trigger is going to move. Watch it move forward, backwards, and forwards again, back again, forward again. So there's several manipulations of this trigger going on before the thing is ready to fire. Let's do this again. So I'm going to move, as I pull the hammer back, it moves forward, it moves backwards and forwards, and that moves back and forward again. So this thing's moved back and forward multiple times before it's ready to fire. Now, for those of you who do not know, this weapon is in the position to fire. There is no mechanical safety on it. What do you do now? In order to get the handgun back in a safe position, you must hold the hammer back with your thumb, pull the trigger, pull the trigger, and gently ride the hammer forward. What you cannot do is let it go forward. You got to gently ride it forward because this will strike the primer and go through and get it. Now I know you guys have all seen this thing before. What I'm simply suggesting is, I'm not going to call the man a liar. If he says he didn't pull the trigger, very potentially what happened was, as he went through the motion of pulling this thing back, he takes the weapon, and I'm going to turn it around this way so hopefully you can see. His finger inside the trigger guard. He has his finger on it. He has pressure on the trigger. He pulls it back, and as he pulls the hammer back, squeezing his hand to get leverage to pull this back, he has now pulled the hammer back inadvertently. He's done it as accidentally. He lets the hammer go forward and the firearm goes off. So I'm going to do that again. He's squeezing the handgun. He pulls it forward. He has tension on the hammer. He lets it go back, goes back. But you'll notice my finger never pulled the trigger. I have tension on it. I let it go back. I let it go forward. Right there. He never pulled the trigger. He had tension on it. You see, my finger never pulls the trigger of the handgun. So, is it possible that he never pulled the trigger? I'm going to say in two ways it's possible. I'm going to say, number one, there's a malfunction, a mechanical malfunction, just like somebody gets struck by lightning. I don't know what the odds are. Google it. Number two, he didn't pull the trigger. His finger was riding the trigger as the pistol hammer came back and it was engaged. Either one of those, in his mind, he did not pull the trigger. Once again, not defending him. I'm just saying, you know, let's wait until the investigation is complete. Other issues like lab ammo on the set, was that his responsibility or was that somebody else's responsibility? Don't matter, does it? The accident happened. It's a tragic thing, and we're done. One more thing I'll talk about briefly is overall gun safety. You know, what we're doing on these things is we're filming action movies. Now, this happened to be Alec Baldwin. What if it would have been my buddy John Wayne? I call him my buddy because he's an American hero, a legend. Did John Wayne ever point a gun that was a prop gun and anybody didn't pull the trigger? Absolutely. Did John Claude Van Damme? Did Clint Eastwood? Did Bruce Willis? And the list goes on and on and on. This is Hollywood, the land of make-believe. And everyone plays make-believe and wants to be somebody. They're playing characters. But in order for us to get these things more and more and more realistic, I'm sure that they're having to do things that normally we would consider is not good gun safety. If I'm going to shoot the bad guy in the head, I can't point the gun in the sky or keep it pointed at the ground in a safe position. If I'm going to shoot the bad guy in the head and get an actual video of it for the theater to release on Saturday night, I've got to point the freaking weapon at the guy's head. So everybody who wants to claim it wasn't good gun safety to point the weapon at somebody, you know, unless your name is on the billboard and you're doing this and you're the star of the frickin' Western, I don't want to hear that discussion. And I think you're not there, I'm not there, none of us are there, we weren't there. How do you make a movie involving firearms without involving a firearm? I don't know how you would do that. Is Alec Baldwin a bad guy? Don't know, never met the man. Most of you people out there watching this video, I dare say, have never met the man. It's a tragic, tragic accident. I feel, in Sergeant 1911's opinion, multiple failures happen in order for this to take place. I don't blame it all on one person, somebody who don't like him, somebody who wants to point fingers. Somebody of you guys are probably going to leave me some nasty comments, and I don't care. The fact of the matter is, I'm not going to judge him and tell him he did pull the trigger. I'm not him. I was not there. I did not expect the weapon before or after or the ammunition or anything. So all the people making videos just like me don't know shit. So let's just kind of leave it at that and hope that if you were in that position and you were suffering potentially or suffering and you're involved in an incident like this someday, in a car accident or something else, that maybe there was a mechanical failure on your brakes. Hell, we hear that shit all the time. My brakes didn't work. You were drunk. We hear mechanical failures bringing down airplanes and everything else. So guess what? It is potentially possible that it happened. Am I going to say that it did? No. What I'm going to tell you is, I don't freaking know. And I would like to see a lot of other people just agree to that we don't freaking know. That's just it. We don't freaking know. So I will say this though, until we get to shoot again, shoot safe, shoot straight, hooah.